Our Prime Performance, brought to you by Whole Foods Market, where we don't just put organics on our shelves, we put them on pedestals. Packers, Green Bay Packers did a thing over the weekend, re-signing Pro Bowl running back Aaron Jones. 4 years, $48 million. How about this? His agent, Drew Rosenhaus, said, quote, Aaron would have signed for more in free agency, but he wanted to stay in Green Bay. That's so agenty. Jones took to Twitter after signing. He said this, let's run it back. Got former Packers great Greg Jennings joining us now. Greg, does re-signing just him being there, just the whole aura of being in Green Bay, we're running that part back. Greg, does re-signing Aaron Jones give Aaron Rodgers enough to win a Super Bowl next year, or does he still need more?
He needs more. He needs more. It was proven last year against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like, Aaron Jones was there. And even more were there that they're trying to bring back even this year in free agency. Robert Tonyan and Corey Linsley. There's a lot of moving parts for the Green Bay Packers outside of just Aaron Jones. I think this was huge for them to be able to re-sign Aaron Jones and him wanting to be back with Green Bay. But I think a lot of this is going to be, again, put on Aaron Rodgers. And I would love to see him start kind of calling and putting out, like Tom Brady has done, like so many players do nowadays, using their social platforms to really bring on other pieces. Nick, you mentioned last week, and you've mentioned a few times about Odell Beckham. Like, you got to start sowing those seeds. If you want to win and you want to win now and you want to trump what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are trying to do again down there, you got to start requesting and trying to put out little fillers if you're Aaron Rodgers, and he is the one that can do that, because free agents aren't just going to say, oh yeah, I want to go to Green Bay. No, Aaron Rodgers has to make it attractive and make them believe that, look, we're trying to do something special. I'm all in. Everyone in this organization is all in. So it is on Aaron Rodgers. As much as everybody loves to say his play on the field, I think this free agency and this market right now, it's on Aaron Rodgers to sell his team.
Well, and I know no one is connecting this player with the Packers, but the best move they could do is a move that strengthens them and weakens the team that knocked him out of the playoffs last year. So the best thing they could do is go offer a bucket of money to Shaq Barrett and say, Zadarius Smith, Shaq Barrett, those are our bookend pass rushers, and we weaken the Tampa Bay Bucks. But even if they don't do that, if the Packers aren't Super Bowl contenders, then almost no one is. Matt LaFleur's been there 2 years. They've been 13-3 in the conference championship game both years. And I know we've memory hold this, but they are a, let me call it, very questionable defensive pass interference call away from getting the ball back down 5 points against the Bucks in a second half where they had opportunity after opportunity to overcome the hole they built themselves in the first half, most notably the terrible end of the first half where Rodgers threw that bad pick and then they allowed Scotty Miller to get deep. So Brandon, I don't think the Packers are miles away from contending. I think they are one of the top tier contenders because they have a healthy Aaron Rodgers. They were 13-3 last year. And Brandon, if they're not contenders, then who in the NFC is other than Tampa? Who?
Yeah, but that's all they are, though, Nick. Look, I caught a lot of flack before the year because I said, you know what? The Aaron Rodgers era was wasted by the Green Bay Packers. One Lombardi trophy? Like one in the Aaron Rodgers era? Are you kidding me? So this conversation is the same every year. Well, we know they're going to be in it, but they just don't get over the hump. Aaron Jones, he's a dog. We all know that. 30 touchdowns in 30 games. Of course, their chemistry, it makes them better. Like, they need to keep this. But what you said is absolutely right. Go get Shaq Barrett. I truly believe he's going to go back to Tampa, but go get Shaq Barrett. You know what else they're missing, Greg and Wilds? They're missing that guy that can just be disruptive on the defensive side, right? Like, you don't need to be a top 10 defense. You need to be right around 15. But you know what you absolutely need? You need like a honey badger. You need like Earl Thomas, and I'm not saying go get Earl Thomas, but like Earl Thomas in his prime, a dude that can turn the ball over and give Aaron Rodgers in that offense more opportunities. Greg, you know this, even going back to when you was playing for Green Bay, the offensive side was never an issue. It's still not an issue. They probably would have went to the Super Bowl if their offensive line was a little bit more healthy. So they're always in this conversation as contenders, and then you just look at the defense side, okay, can I get a little bit of help here?
Agreed. You're spot on. You got to find ways to get Aaron Rodgers the ball back because, as you mentioned, that offense is going to put up points. Nick, you talked about Matt LaFleur. He's been great. Like everything that he's done over the last 2 years, his first 2 years as the Green Bay Packers head coach has been excellent. People will question should he have gone for it on fourth down in that NFC Championship game. But outside of that, you can't question what his resume provides right now. And to be honest, if you can get somebody defensively, that is a game changer, and add another piece alongside Devontae Adams. Even Robert Tonyan, if you can get him back and his play is definitely is pointing the right direction, which is up, this team has a chance. But to your point, Brandon, contender is what the chance is. It's not where the Bucs are.
Every year we say the same thing. It's a good point. Greg, thank you so much. We got to get back to our top story now. Drew Brees calling it a career after 20 amazing seasons. We're talking to Saints linebacker Demaryius. Back here talking Russell Wilson now, where according to the latest report out of Seattle, crickets on the trade front. It was a small article. The Seahawks, meanwhile, appear to be in on giving Russ what he's asked for, help on that offensive line. Seahawks reportedly evaluating potential O-line fits. That on the heels of free agency opening up in how long? Oh, I don't know, 2 days. Here it comes. Brian Westbrook is back with us now. But Brandon, let me start with you. Can the Seahawks save the relationship with Russ at this point?
Absolutely. But it's going to take for them to do exactly what they're doing, looking at offensive linemen and not just doing what they have always done in signing guys. And we're talking about dudes like, oh, this is a project guy, or this is a guy that's coming off of two down years, but he was all pro 2-3 years ago. No, what they need to do is prioritize the position. I think what Russell Wilson is looking for is, how much are we allocating to this position? You got the Raiders, they're sitting around 50-something million a year. And then you got the Dolphins. So he's looking at that and seeing, like, is this really a priority for us? If it is, then you want to make it a priority with your checkbook. And I also think when you look at the offensive line, there's one guy on that offensive line that is a staple, and that's Dwayne Brown. And Dwayne Brown is getting up there in age. But everybody else, those dudes are second string at the best on any other team. So the thing that needs to happen for them to get past this is Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson have to become partners. What do I mean by that, Brandon? Like, what do you mean by that, Brandon? Like, it's a head coach and you got a quarterback. Well, Russell Wilson makes way more money than Pete Carroll. Like, this is bigger than just a coach and a player relationship. This needs to be a partnership. Now, not every player has this right. Not every player has this privilege. But when you're talking about Russell Wilson and how much he means to this organization, you guys really have to give him a seat at the table. Now, I was there. Part of this is on Russell. Russell, he likes every shiny toy. Oh, my goodness, DK Metcalf, love him. You got DK Metcalf. Oh, Antonio Brown. And then you got Josh Gordon. You got this and that. So it comes a point where maybe John Snyder and then also Pete Carroll's like, all right, Russ, like, we can't get everybody. But what happens is a lot of the things that Russell is saying in passing is going in one ear and out the other. And Russell never called him out on it. Now he's getting fed up because he's seeing Tom Brady, hoist his 7th Lombardi trophy. He's seeing everybody talk about Mahomes and even the old Aaron Rodgers. He's like, well, what about me? Like, why am I not in this discussion? So not only does he want to win, but he wants to win with flair. He wants to win in high fashion, Nick. So Russell Wilson needs to become a partner for this thing to work. Now, Pete Carroll, is he willing to do that? Probably not. And so this thing can explode. But Russell Wilson needs to have a seat at the table.
Brandon, in the last 90 minutes, it got a little bit harder for Seattle because their left guard, Mike Iupati, retired after the season. There was a left guard available because of Giants cap constraints and Kevin Zeitler. He actually played with Russ at Wisconsin. I know there were some reports saying this would make a lot of sense, and because of the way he was cut, you could sign him before free agency. And you know who did this morning per Adam Schefter? The Baltimore Ravens. So that's one less little potential. Hey, look, Russ, look what we did for you. That's now gone. Your old teammate, your old left guard. Nope, he now plays for the Ravens, who had to replace Marshall Yanda to help their franchise quarterback in Lamar Jackson. What I think, Brian, the Seahawks have working for them is pieces keep getting taken off the chessboard. Dallas removed itself. New Orleans never should have been on the chessboard because they have no way to make this work financially. And you have Chicago, which all the reports out of Chicago are they're going to make an amazing offer. But whatever offer they provide, they can't provide the one thing that I would think Seattle has to get back, either a quarterback or a pick with which they can draft a quarterback. Seattle doesn't have, or Chicago doesn't have that. So I do think Seattle, if those were really the only 4 teams Russ would go to, there's only one left, really, that to me is realistic. That's Vegas. Now, Vegas has, I couldn't believe this, I read this stat this weekend, they have been above 500 once in 18 years. One time. So if Vegas wants to step up and say, we'll give you Derek Carr and a bunch of first-round picks, maybe this gets done. But otherwise, Brian, I wonder if Seattle's mindset is, we'll do some of what you want, Russell, but you should have picked a better list because that list is quickly becoming 1 and at most 2 teams, and those teams got to present a reasonable offer.
You know, Nick, when you talk about Vegas, I read a report last week that Mike Mayock said that Derek Carr is our guy. And that's not to say that guys and GMs and presidents don't change their mind over the course of time, but